Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am Abe with mysticgenmara.com, and today I am going to do the monthly tarot reading and oracle reading for the month of May 2022 for fire signs. That is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And if you enjoy my content and how I do my readings, if you want to drop a like and a subscribe, I would really appreciate it. The way I do my readings for the elements is to read one guide per week and then to follow that up with a message from source and a challenge or lesson or something to work on for that week. So you have someone to guide you, a message, and something that you can work on with journaling, through meditation, or through energy work. So the first week is going to be May 1st, and it'll go from the first week for each one. So in May there's 4.5 weeks in May, so I'll probably do a full 5, so there'll be a little bit of overlap between May and June. But that's alright, because we always can get a few extra messages, right? Call them bonuses. So for the first week of May 2022 fire signs, sorry, just need to make a little bit of room here. We are looking for our guide for the first week of May 2022 fire signs. And the guide cards I'm using for this week, or this this month, are the Angel Guides by Kyle Gray. All of the cards I use will be linked in the description below. And the angel that you're working with for this first week is forgiveness and understanding. If I get the light to reflect correctly here. And I read intuitively, so I will not be using the book information unless it's on the card itself. So forgiveness and understanding, the first week, the angel that's going to work with you on this is the angels of forgiveness. And when you're working with the angels of forgiveness, it's not just oh, forgive me for the bad things that I've done. You're also offering forgiveness. By freeing yourself from guilt, by offering forgiveness to other people, anyone who's wronged you, you carry that burden within you. They did the action, but if you're still frustrated by it, if you're still upset by it, you are carrying that energetic burden. And so what this angel is saying for this first week is, look at ways you can let it go. Offer forgiveness to things that have hurt you, have damaged you over the years, and offer forgiveness from your heart. And doing a lot of journaling during that time is going to be a good thing as well. So this first week of May would be a good thing just to tap into what you need to, who you need to forgive, how you need to forgive. And when you're doing that, don't forget to forgive yourself, because a lot of the guilt, the shame, the frustration that we carry is over our own actions, our own thoughts. Sometimes it's things that happened decades ago, but it still sits in the back of your mind. And what this angel is saying is, be okay with letting it go. Be okay with forgiving yourself. And take the time to actually love yourself through this. Do not carry that as, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or any of that. Just let it go. So that's the angel you're working with for this first week. Now, this deck is called the Lemurian, I just lost the name, sorry, Beyond Lemuria, and it's an oracle deck. And the card that comes up for this first week, and this is your message from source. This is the comfort or the guidance that source is bringing you. And it is the Earth card. It says, nurture your nature. No one can hold you the way nature can. Mama Nature is a powerful healer and transmuter of desired energies. She takes in your out breath and can transform your woes if you can allow yourself to surrender, to lie in her grassy arms or embrace her by her branches. All experiences, those categorized as good or bad, are part of the natural cycle that allows for the continuation of life on this planet. Trying to suppress or control those will bring you out of harmony. Nature is all around you. Notice her, and when you feel like no one else can hold you, she can. So what this is really saying, with a lot more words, is to find the message is to find grounding. Your guide is helping you forgive, and when you're doing that, you're going to find yourself being knocked out of balance because you have found this tenuous balance with the guilt, the shame, the frustration, or the anger. But when you start releasing that, your balance actually will shift. And what this is saying is find a way to ground and reconnect to who you are. An easy way to do that is to literally go outside, and now that it's starting to warm up, at least in the northern hemisphere, take your shoes off and go outside and just feel the fresh grass, put your feet on the ground in the dirt, and just allow the energy to drain out of you as you're working your forgiveness for yourself and for others. And you'll notice in most cases almost immediately that there is a very strong divine shift that occurs. Even if you're not noticing it in a conscious way, there is a shift that is occurring, and you will notice it over time, if not immediately. Now, your lesson or challenge for this first week of May, fire signs, is the 5 of Winter. It says, walk away from dishonest associations, realizing that what you thought you wanted isn't the best choice for your happiness at this time, something that's not worth the effort. And so, that lighting's terrible, sorry. So what this one's really saying is, there's things in your life that you've been chasing. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a job, maybe it's an opportunity that you thought you wanted or that you were pushing towards really super hard. What this card is saying is, as you're going through this week and your guide is working with you on forgiveness and understanding, your challenge or the thing that you need to possibly work on is look at the stuff that you've got going on. Look at the plans that you have, the goals that you're looking for. Are they for your best interests? Are they actually working for you, or are they working against you? And this is a time, as you're releasing and you're forgiving, you're going to start seeing things in a clearer light. And when you do that, you're going to find that maybe that project that you were hunting and chasing so bad because it was in a state of guilt, it was in a state of shame, it was in a state of frustration or anger, when you release that, that goal no longer is important, and you can readjust to something that's actually more for your higher good. So, that's week 1. On to week 2. So we're looking for a guide or guardian for that second week of May 2022 fire signs. And the angel class that you're working with is your guardian angel. So guardian angels are an angel that is assigned to you at birth. We all get one. Some people, if they're in really high stress environments, you'll notice, if you're clairvoyant, you'll see 2. But we are born with a guardian angel and a recording angel, and they are the recording angel. His or her sole purpose is just to record what you're doing. Nothing special. The guardian angel is protecting you from physical and spiritual energies. Sometimes it's a threat, sometimes it's our own specialness when we are bullheaded and we want to plow through. But what this is saying is, during this second week of May, it is a good time to tap in, to connect a little bit more with your guardian angel and find out if there's something in your life that you're doing that is actually harming you, or a path that you're on if it's taking you in the wrong direction. And look for the signs, because they will be there. The angels are very good about letting us know when we're doing something that is not aligned with our message from source. So that's just something to be aware of. So your guardian angel is the angel energy you're working with on the second week. Your message from source is evolution. It says, considering there we go. Considering what evolution means to you. In your evolution about growth, expansion, adaptation, success, or becoming a better version of yourself, look for ways to flourish in the face of challenges. Break a problem down to its elements, be creative, and consider how you can make it more fun and inspiring to fix. Alternatively, ask how you can learn, grow, and become a stronger person through what is happening for you. This may be pushed to a greater and deeper learning, and it might be an uncomfortable process, but the strength, growth, and wisdom that comes from this journey through the eye of the storm is going to embody your knowledge into something no teacher can train you in. So the message from Source is, you are on a spiritual journey. We all are. But sometimes we cling to our history, our past, our religious upbringing, our political alignment, or family business, if that's something that you are involved in, and you're not willing to take that next step. You don't want to step out of your comfort zone. Evolution is not just about Darwin's theory of it. Evolution in a spiritual sense is the growth. And we can't grow if we keep holding on to the past, if we can't find a way to break a mold, break a pattern. And what I have been really being inspired by lately is the fact that I feel very strongly in the time frame we are in right now, around this 100-year point window that we're in, the entirety of the human race is going to evolve, and there's going to be a part that shifts into a higher frequency, and there's others that are going to stay here because they're in a lower frequency. It's not good or bad, it's just where they're at. And the people who are really willing to put the effort into their spiritual evolution and their spiritual practices, and that's for Christian, pagan, Wiccan, it doesn't really matter what your pattern is. It's, are you dedicated to your spiritual growth? And so with this, what it's saying is that the focus of your guardian angel is to help you be in a safe enough place to grow. And the message is, it's time to start growing. So thinking about how you can expand your spiritual practice, whether it being setting aside a 15-minute window to pray, to meditate, or refresh your meditation space, or refresh the way that you study the Bible or a spiritual text. This is a time, the second week is a good time to reevaluate a lot of that. Now, your lesson or challenge for the second week of May is the Emperor card. It says, use logic and structure to increase your success. Get organized, a firm but compassionate leader. So when you're working on your spiritual evolution, there's things that will happen, and this is something that I have found very strongly in my life, as the more that I work on myself and I start to release old patterns and I start looking for ways to improve, I end up finding myself in situations of teaching or leadership. Not everybody is going to take that route, but that is something to be aware of, that as you build and you start to use your logic and your reason in balance with your creative side, you're going to see a shift occur. And it's better to be organized when you're doing these major shifts, because you're going to notice that things get lost in the shuffle a lot, and sometimes it's stuff that you need. So if you're more organized, you can find it better. But you're going to find yourself being brought out of your shell spiritually, and they're saying as well, in your job, you may start finding yourself in more leadership roles with your employment. Not so much in the household. They're saying specifically it is for work and for spirit. So just be aware that as you're moving forward, you're going to have this masculine energy that is coming through, and it's a good time to start working on that, because you are developing into a higher frequency being. And the second week is all about how to embrace that and step into that role into a higher state. So we're on to our third week for May 2022 fire signs. And your angel guide for this week is healing energy. So when we talk about healing energy, we generally think of Archangel Raphael or Archangel Gabriel. They're the two primarily working with healing energy. Archangel Raphael works with healing physical energy primarily and communication, whereas Gabriel works with healing emotional energy. So your guide for this third week is all about helping you tap into a healing angel that's aligned with you on a subject that you need help healing in. Or it could be the fact that you are a natural healer, and this angel is here to help bring that out into a higher state, to help you develop into a higher branch of healing, or discover a healing art that you're interested in. It could be herbology, it could be Reiki, it could be energy work, it could be auras. But this week is all about working with your healing guides and angels to elevate your healing gifts. Now, your message from Source is home. I'll get up there so I can get the light. Our home to oneness and the truest part of our infinite self is to know ourselves beyond the socialized matrix of mind-constructed reality. When all sense of flighty survival drops away, a deep sigh radiates from the safe place within us, where you can ground dreams into realities, deep heart-based presence in a direct portal home. Align with your temple space. You have dreams, visions, and may yearn for etheric realms, but it is when you are fully present in our bodies that we can actualize these ideas and make a difference. Be grounded, find your home and the deeper roots with the higher we can reach into the heavens. So, it's all your angel's here to help you heal and to work with your healing gifts. And this card is all about helping you develop those gifts into a stronger state. We're working to realign with our spiritual home. It's not so much our physical home, although that can be affected very strongly. As you develop your healing gifts and you start to tap more into your spiritual side, you will notice that your home environment will start to shift and change. Now, if you live with other people who are not on a spiritual journey, there might be a little bit of a rough patch during this transition, but it's because you're elevating, and as you shift and change, they don't know how to handle it. Your people you're living with, roommates, spouse, children, because you're becoming something different. And as you become something different, you're going to notice that your sense of home becomes more of a spiritual sense. Your physical house becomes something that is very important to you for security and for peace, but you're also going to find that your spiritual home, being in a church group, it could be a pagan community, it could be a spiritual themed class that you join or a book club, you're going to find that spiritual home that helps you feel like you're connected to who you really are, and it helps connect to your soul family. So you're working on with healing this week, but it's also working with regrounding yourself and bringing that healing into your home space and helping you feel more alive in that home space. Now, your lesson or challenge for this week is the 5 of Spring. And it says, opposing goals arising from differing opinions, feeling at odds with yourself or others, an overly ambitious people. So this actually lines up really well because you're working on the healing and it's all about your home. This is where you start tapping into that other energy. So your challenge this week is really tied into the message from Source. As your goals, your dreams, your visions shift and change through this month, you're going to come into a point where your spiritual practice and your spiritual beliefs, if you're going by like a Christian vernacular, it's your salvation type thing. It is going to be your driving focus. It's going to come up as, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm going, and this is what I'm doing. Are you along for the ride or not? And it doesn't mean that you're going to have to cut people out of your lives, but it may shift how your relationship dynamics occur. Because you are doing things to better yourself, and by doing that, you radiate out, and you start to help other people uplift themselves. If they are not in a position where they're willing to grow with you just yet, and it may change, you're going to have a little bit of that conflict, a little bit of that tension, but you have an angel with you that can help heal that and work with you through that. So do not get discouraged for that lesson on that 3rd week. It's all about growth and change, and sometimes growth and change are a little painful, but in the end, you're going to come out a better person as long as you stick to your conscience and stick to your connection to Source, divine energy. So let's move on to the 4th week here. My deck will give me my cards. Your guide for the 4th week is trust the universe. And what this is saying is the angels that are coming through for this 4th week are actually going to be sent specifically from the heart of the Creator. And they are mainly to help you understand to trust your intuition, to trust your connection to Source, and to trust your inner guidance. A lot of us, because of how we were raised, and this is not a bad thing, this is just saying what happened, we were given a very specific set of beliefs, goals, and guides that may not have been for our highest good, and then as we've grown, we start to question. Well, questioning is good because it gives you the ability to examine from a different state, but what the angels that are coming through for this 4th week are telling you, are saying anyway, is that trusting your heart and trusting your intuition and your logic, you don't want to get buried just too much in the emotional side of things, but they will help you understand the proper balance of emotional guidance and intuition, as well as the intellectual part of it. So during this 4th week, work with the angels, and I'm using the term generically because each one of us is going to connect with a different angel for this, but work with the angel that helps you understand the trust and the balance, and helping you find that connection to the heart of the Creator again, so that you can actually grow in your spiritual journey. So that's the guiding principle, is the angels that are coming in are actually coming on a mission from the heart of the Creator. So the message from Source is the fire. Hey, it's fire sign's message. And it says, get the lighting here. There's actually 2 dragons on there. I just can't get the light to show up right. Sorry. It says, we live in a dualistic world. Bringing light and dark into balance, being real with our humanness, can allow us to reach more joy, authenticity, and depth. By accepting and loving all of ourselves as we are, we can extend more of this love and have greater compassion for the others around us. This painting portrays the balanced dance of creation. As the dragons come together, they dissolve into one with all that is. In this place of coalescence, both sides fuse into oneness, not just one as a re-emerging with the universe, but an alchemical process of becoming the empowered creative force that lies within. And so your message from Source is, even though there's a lot that's been going on this month, there's a lot of shifting, a lot of changing, you have to look at the light and the dark. Going back to the first week where you're looking at forgiveness, you have to refine that balance. And when you rebalance yourself fully, it puts you into a different place. You become a different being when you are able to access your shadow and your higher self, because when you can find the balance between those two, and you understand that sometimes that shadow work shows parts and skills of you that you totally didn't know you had. You thought that was a negative, turned out it was actually a benefit, and you can help work with that to heal and, encourage others. So during your message is, find the way to process the positive and the negative, bring them into a balanced state. And it's not balanced as in, I feel no emotions, or I'm just strictly a logical being. No, find the balance between your logic and your reason and your emotional state, which is what the angel of your guidance is this week, is all about finding that divine balance and rediscovering who you are. And when you start working through this balance, we'll say this up front, you're going to do this a lot in life. And by this point, you may have done several times, or you may just be starting, and either is fine. But when you rebalance yourself, you become something bigger, you become something better, you clear out, and you are able to access higher and higher frequencies from the divine source energy. And so this is a period of very strong education and learning. And your lesson or message for this week is the 8 of Spring. And it says, lesson or challenge, sorry. Stress that comes from having many things happening all at once, successful multitasking, and sudden events or changes. So you have a guide that's coming in for this week that is very specific to growth, change, and development, and understanding to trust yourself and to trust God's source energy. Your message is all about refining that balance and shifting into an alchemically more purified state, the union of opposites. And your lesson or challenge actually ties directly into that, because this is going to be a stressful time period for you if you let it. You have a lot of things going on. You're trying to juggle all of this stuff, plus your physical life, plus your job, plus all that fun stuff. But you're going to be able to multitask it. You have the angels and the guidance and source energies helping you. You can actually shift things pretty easily. You find that balance, and it's during that time that you find that success. And it's going to be a random thing where all of a sudden it just falls into place and clicks, and you'll be like, oh, this is what trusting myself is. Thank you, angels. This is what Divine was telling me about becoming something better. I am able to work with all of this and make it happen and function. So it's going to work out in your favor to just trust yourself and understand that source is actually working with you. And this is going to be one of those messages when it happens, you're going to be able to sit back and be like, I understand now. So let's go ahead and we'll do the 5th week, and it may overlap with June's reading, and that's fine too. We'll just, like I said, you'll get extra readings for this. So that 5th week is only like a half week, it's like 3 days. But for our purposes, we'll go ahead and do that 5th week. And your angel that you're working with after everything that's went on, because you're doing a lot of forgiveness, you're working with your guardian angels, you're healing a lot with these different angel energies, and you're learning to trust yourself and trust the universe. The 5th week of May, those 3 days, it says, or 4 days, anyway, take a step back. So you've been doing a lot of this heavy work, a very spiritual work, very intense work. You're looking deep within yourself. You're helping balance the people around you and your environment. So this last week, your angelic guide that is coming up is wanting you to understand it's okay to take a step back. It's okay to relax. It's okay to say no to, well, you have this obligation. We have to. It's a picnic. It's a camping trip. It's a fill in the blank. You don't have to. And if it's something that you feel drained by just the thought of it, that's usually a good message from source to step back and say, no, I'm good. Not all of it's going to be that way, but this last week is all about self-care and finding that peace that comes after all the work. So you'll do a lot of work this month, but you're going to come to a point where I need to rest, I need to absorb, and I need to rebalance everything. So your message from source is your crown chakra, and it's the unlimited self. Almost said that wrong. Come on, light. It's not wanting to light up. Sorry. There. The crown chakra is your link to the multidimensionality of your being, the seat of your soul. It gracefully connects you to the heavens. The infinity symbol of limitless appears within the unfolding petals and points to your most potent potential. Here you can delight in the divine strands of light that dance with us when we are aligned with spirit, purpose, and truth. Be present and flow without rigid outcomes. Find more space in your life. Find your own way to meditate. Explore the state of flow and be receptive to the intuitive messages you may receive. So this is basically a good ending message for the month, because you've went through learning how to ground, readjusting and building with your DNA and evolution, finding your spiritual home and balance. And then there's the message that comes up for the alchemical process of burning away and fixing and healing and readjusting that which needs to be readjusted. And this last one, it's your crown chakra, which is the very top of your head. There's a little flat spot on most people's heads, and that's where the actual chakra sits. And it is a 1,000-petaled lotus that opens up. It is beautiful, brilliant white, and what they're saying is you have the angel that's coming through to help you take that step back and help you, find the balance and do some self-care. And the crown chakra is all about your connection to source. You've done a lot of work through this month. You've cleaned up a bunch, and what it's saying is this last week is now it's time to just enjoy that connection, and maybe you've opened it up again, maybe you just strengthened it. But take the time to allow that connection to fully bloom into its fullest state. And when that 1,000-petaled lotus of your crown chakra really opens up, and when you're in meditation or doing yoga or something like that, it is the most intense feeling of peace, and it sometimes only happens for a flash of a moment. You'll be in a meditative state and you'll just feel this connection to everything. And sometimes it lasts for your entire meditation, and sometimes it's just a little blip on the screen. But whichever happens, appreciate the fact that you are expanding and growing as a spiritual being in your spiritual practice, because divine source energy does truly love all of us, even when we do things that are maybe not so lovable. What this message is to come back to that grace and come back into that love, because that's what we are here for, fire signs. Now, your challenge or lesson for this 5th week of May is the Princess of Spring, optimistic, enthusiastic, creative, and energetic. It's time to go after your dreams, do something that expands your horizons, and let your creativity take flight. So, that seems almost like a contradiction with the take a step back, relax, and self-care, but what it's really saying is creativity cannot happen if you're in a stressed state. I mean, some artists are the starving artist. They're in a high energy stressed state, but they're channeling their stress and their frustration into art. And so what this is saying is finding a way to take the lessons that you've learned to develop a new creative way to handle something. It doesn't mean go out and start buying a bunch of oil paints, but what it could be is there a artistic class that you've wanted to do? Try that. Is there a new recipe you wanted to explore, but you wanted to change it in a certain way? This last week, it's how can you approach your life in a more creative way that helps you assimilate your spiritual practice and relaxation into your life. So, I hope that this resonated with you, fire signs, and I will be bringing forward another video sometime in the next week. I try to do at least one video a week. On that note, if this resonated and you liked it, drop a like and subscribe. And if there's anything that you want to let me know about, good or bad, I need to hear both, just drop it in the comment section below, and I will talk to you guys at a later date. And thank you very much for showing up.